Hi friends, today's Thursday, May 7th. You may have seen me on the morning announcements on St. Clement's Facebook page. If you haven't, go check it out. Today we are going to read All My Friends Are Planets, the story of Pluto. This is actually a really fun book. And then we're going to do the solar system craft together. I'll have a few announcements at the end of the video after the craft, and then I also will show you a little bit of our butterflies. I was actually in my office and another chrysalis was opening and a butterfly was coming out, and I got a video of it. It was amazing. So I'm excited to show that to you. But for now, I'm going to read All My Friends Are Planets, the story of Pluto. All My Friends Are Planets, the story of Pluto. It says, dedicated to future generations of galactic explorers, astronomers, and lifelong wanderers. Look up, blink, and imagine. Hi there, my name is Pluto. I am the 9th planet in the solar system. Or at least I thought I was. I have been floating around space in a place called the Kuiper Belt, millions of miles away from the sun. It took a while to find me because I live so far out in space, the furthest, in fact, from the sun, which is the center of our solar system. Before me, there are 8 planets in the solar system. Mercury is the first and closest planet. It can orbit the sun in only 88 days versus the 365 days it takes for Earth. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system, whose surface heats up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit and is also the brightest planet in Earth's night sky. Your home, Earth, is the only planet found to have life so far, probably because the moon stabilizes its orbit, making the weather nice there. Mars is known affectionately as the red planet. In 2015, scientists found water, so maybe humans might be able to live there. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, made entirely of poisonous gas. For hundreds of years, Jupiter endured a strong windy storm, which is why it has a great red spot. Saturn is made entirely of gas, just like Jupiter, but has beautiful rings around its perimeter made of billions of small chunks of rock and ice. Uranus is also made entirely of gas, particularly methane, which gives the planet its special color. Neptune is the windiest planet in the solar system, with winds 9 times stronger than on Earth. It takes Neptune 165 Earth years just to orbit the sun once. I was the 9th. My best friend was Neptune. We were the furthest neighbors in the solar system. But I had a secret that I couldn't tell anyone. I've always felt a little different. And it's not just because I'm so far away, or because I'm the smallest planet, or because I'm always cold. Well, actually, it's all of that. You see, all my friends revolve around the sun in what they call an orbit. And at the center of their orbits is the sun. But not me. The sun isn't at my center. I am also the only planet too small and too lightweight to sweep asteroids and other space junk called debris out of my orbit. I tried to not think too much about these differences. None of the other planets seemed to notice. I was still their friend all the same, until Mike Brown came around. The day was August 24th, 2006. Mike Brown and other astronomers from Earth decided that because of my differences, I could no longer be considered a planet in the solar system. I felt so alone. Everything that once made me unique now became a reason to exclude me. Was I really that different? Was there anyone else like me? And then one day, I heard a faint hello. I'd never heard that voice in my corner of space before. Who's there? I asked. I'm Maki, I've noticed you in the Kuiper Belt before, but I was too shy to introduce myself. And I'm Eris. We're dwarf planets here in the Kuiper Belt, just like you. What's a dwarf planet? I blurted out. I've never heard of that before. We're a lot like planets, but smaller, Eris said. We have enough mass and gravity to be round and travel through space in a path around the sun. But, McKee said, our path around the sun is full of other objects, like comets and asteroids. Huh, I muttered to myself. There are others like me out there. Neptune, I called. Meet my new friends, McKee, and Eris. They are dwarf planets, just like me. Hiya! I was starting to get worried, but it looks like Pluto has found great company out there on the belt, Neptune replied. They continued to talk and laugh, which made me realize that I was actually glad to learn that I wasn't a real planet. I was different, but my old friends still loved me, and my new friends welcomed me into the dwarf planet family. The best part is, we all got along with each other, and together we make the solar system larger and friendlier. Who else is out there? You're going to need some colored pencils, markers, and a pencil, just some coloring tools. So the first step in our solar system is we're going to make the sun, because we know that all of our planets in the solar system, they orbit the sun, and it takes us on Earth, it takes 365 days for us to orbit the sun, which means go around the sun once, which is why it's a year. So it takes us a year. So first, let's lay out all of our pieces. We'll keep our labels separately from all of our circles, because we're going to start with our circles first. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this is actually called a semicircle, your yellow semicircle. This is going to be your sun. And what you're going to do is you're going to get out your glue stick, and you are going to put some glue on it, and then we are going to work from left to right, just like you would read a book or read a sentence, and we're going to glue our sun. We're going to match up the straight edges, and we're going to glue our sun. This is just half of the sun so that we have enough room on our paper for every other planet. Kind of up towards the top, because underneath is where we're going to glue our labels or our names of all of our planets in the sun. And we know that the sun is not a planet. The sun is actually, does anybody remember? The sun is actually a star. It's a huge star. So our first planet from the sun is, does anybody remember? Our first planet from the sun is Mercury. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at all of our circles, and we're going to find this. We're going to find our medium-sized brown circle. We are going to glue this about 1 inch, or like 2 of your little fingers, about 1 inch away from the sun. So here is Mercury. And then our next planet away from the sun, so we have the sun, and then we have Mercury, and then we have, can anybody guess what comes next? We have Venus. So Venus comes after Mercury, and Venus, do you remember from our book that we just read? Venus is actually one of the hottest planets because it's so close to the sun, and it is bright in color like fire. So here is Venus. So Venus is going to go about the same distance away from Mercury. So we have Mercury and then Venus. And then does anybody know what the next planet is away from the sun? Mercury, Venus. Can anybody guess? If you guessed Earth, you're right. So now Earth, we're actually going to use this white circle for Earth. And what I want you to do is I first want you to glue it down. It'll be easier for us to make this look like Earth once it's glued down. So we know that Earth is not white. We know that Earth is blue. It's full of water, so it's blue, and then it's full of land, so it's green as well. So what I want you to do is you can take crayons, markers, colored pencils, and I want you to color Earth to look like Earth, because we know Earth is not white. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color some land. It doesn't have to be perfect, because we just need it to be green and blue. So I'm going to draw some green places. Maybe that's Asia, who knows. But I'm going to color some green parts. And then I know that Earth is made up mostly of water. So I'm going to color most of it blue. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color between all of my green parts. I'm going to color it blue. You can use crayons, you can use markers, just make sure you color it blue and green. Make sure it's not red and pink. That's not what Earth looks like. All right, so here's my Earth. Complete. So there's Earth. Now, so we have Mercury, Venus, Earth. Does anybody know what planet's next? It is Mars. So find your red circle. If you remember that when we read our book about Pluto, that it told us that Mars is the red planet because it's made up of a bunch of red rocks. So that's why they call it the red planet. So of course we needed to make it red. So put glue on the back. You're going to glue it about an inch away from Earth. Perfect. All right, now we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Your next planet is the biggest planet. It is Jupiter. So find your should be your biggest circle. Find your biggest circle, and it should be like a light brown color, just like Mercury. And you are going to glue it next to Mars. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then we have Jupiter. Now, I did not tell you to do this in your direction, so if you've already done your solar system craft, don't worry about it. But we read in our book about Pluto, the story of Pluto, that Jupiter had a storm that lasted a really long time, which is why it has a big red dot on it. So I figured we could draw a big red dot so we know that this is Jupiter. And luckily it shows up on the brown paper. So we know this is Jupiter. Love it. And then we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Who knows what's next? It's Saturn. So get this is like a tan color circle. So find your tan colored circle. And let's get Saturn on there now. Saturn actually is a special planet because it has rings around it. So I'm going to glue it a little bit further away from Jupiter than I usually had been gluing all my other planets because I need to make some rings around it. And I'm going to get out the picture that we have in our book of Saturn. Let's see. Here's Saturn. So let's draw some rings around Saturn just like this. And I'm going to use a white colored pencil. You could use a white crayon, and I'm using white simply because it's what color is going to show up on our black construction paper. So what I'm going to do is just kind of make a line around Saturn just like this to show its rings, okay? And you can make more than one. You can make two like this. And we know that Saturn's rings are made up of rock and ice, right? So it might be kind of hard for you to see that, but there's Saturn and its rings. So let's see, we have 3 more planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and then we have Uranus. Now, let's look at Uranus and Neptune. So Uranus is going to be this special teal, Uranus is going to be this special teal color because it's made up entirely of gas, which gives the planet its special color. And it's particularly made up of a gas called methane. So let's find our teal circle. And it's going to go right here next to Saturn and its rings. There we go. Now we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. And our last planet is our blue planet. It is Neptune. Here is our last real planet. And since we learned that Pluto is actually not a planet. It is a dwarf planet, but I wanted to include it in your solar system craft so that because we just learned about Pluto. So we know that Pluto is not considered a planet, so we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he told us that he used to be the 9th planet, but they consider him now a dwarf planet because he is too small and he doesn't have enough atmosphere to let rocks and meteors out of its orbit. So this is Pluto. I'm going to give you a choice. If you want to include this in your solar system, you can. If you want to leave it off because you know it's not actually a planet in our solar system, it's considered a dwarf planet, you can leave it off. I'm going to glue it on because I gave it to you in your baggie and I gave you a little label for it. And we know that Pluto kind of looks like a moon. It's a small gray planet. Oh, I still need my glue stick. So now our last step in our solar system is to label all of our planets. So we know that they orbit around the sun. So let's find the word that says sun. So if you turn all of your labels so that there's one capital letter that's all the way to the left, and all of our letters are not upside down, let's look and find all of the planets or all of the names that start with that same letter. So we know that sun starts with S. So I see 2 planets that start with S. Now let's look at this word. I see an S and an A. So I know that says sa. That doesn't really sound like sun. Let's see if this other one sounds more like sun. So we have S and a U, and that makes an sound. So we have n, sun. That says sun. Let's pick this one up. And we'll put a little bit of glue on the back. I know they're pretty small. And then we're going to glue it underneath, all the way over here, so that we know that says sun. So there's our sun. Oh, you can't see it. There you go. So here's our sun. So we know that the first planet away from the sun is Mercury. Oh, and it looks like we've got the same problem. We got 2 of our planets that start with that same sound. Mercury. So let's look at this one. So we have an M and an A. So we know that that says Mars. This says Mars. So I know that's not Mercury. Let's see if this one might say Mercury. So we have Mercury. This says Mercury. Let's get Mercury glued down. And if you don't have enough space, or if you're worried about making up space, you can glue up here a little bit or down below. But they should all fit kind of nicely in there. All right, so now we have Mercury, Venus, and guess what? We only have 1 planet that starts with the V sound, so that was easy. Let's get our Venus label glued down. Mercury, Venus, and then we have Earth. Here is Earth. This is our only planet that starts with an E. So we have Earth. Let's get that glued down underneath our Earth. Mercury, Venus, Earth, our red planet, Mars. And luckily we already used our other word that started with M. Can't pick it up. There we go. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Who remembers what our big, gigantic, big brown planet's called with that red dot? Jupiter. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Does anybody remember the planet that has rings? Saturn. Here's Saturn. And then we have, let's see, can you see him? There we go. Uranus. Remember, our Uranus planet is the one that's full of gas that makes it that special teal color. And then our last real planet is Neptune. And our last planet that is now considered a dwarf planet, Pluto. There we go. Our solar system. If you have done some research on any of these planets and you would like to add anything to our planets like we did to Earth and to Saturn and Jupiter, if you would like to add maybe some swirls, I think Jupiter and Saturn might have some swirly looks to them. Go ahead and do that. Take your best guess of what colors you think that you would like those to be. Just make sure that you have all of your planets in order and that you have all of your labels in order. And I can't wait to see what yours looks like when you turn it in. Have fun. I hope you had fun making their solar system craft, and I hope you learned something new from that book. I know I learned something new. So I'm going to show you my final product, and it's super long, so I'm going to show you from the beginning like this. There we go. There's our solar system, and including the dwarf planet Pluto. I wanted to show you our butterflies. I'm going to add a video to the end of this about our butterflies, and I wanted to tell moms and dads. I will send this in an email as well, but tomorrow we are unfortunately not going to be able to release our butterflies during our Zoom meeting that we have because it is supposed to be rainy and pretty cold. So it's not safe for me to set the butterflies free tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is on Saturday, when it's a little bit warmer, I'm going to have Mr. Cooper film me letting these butterflies go. I want to make sure that I do it in a safe place for them so that everything is okay when they leave our net and they leave us. Another note about our Zoom meeting tomorrow, bring something with you to share with the class or to share with whoever is there that starts with the first letter of your name. So if your name starts with A, I would like you to bring something that either starts with A or A. Maybe like an apple. Or an alligator. I hope you don't have a real one of those at home. So bring something that starts with the first letter of your name. And I am looking forward to seeing everybody at our Zoom meeting tomorrow. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I'm going to attach a butterfly video to end of this video. I hope you guys have a great Thursday. Enjoy some sunshine before it gets really chilly. Protect your flowers if you planted any out in your yard. Bye, guys. Okay, so here is our second butterfly. It's kind of hard to see because of the net, and I was trying to find a good angle and get focused on him, so just give it a second here. There we go. So if you notice, there are two other chrysalises up there. I don't think that we're going to get any butterflies out of those, so we'll just have to say a little prayer for them up in heaven. This butterfly, his wings are all scrunched up because they just came out of the chrysalis, so they have to dry, but I thought it was really cool. I've never seen the butterflies come out of the chrysalis before when they've been at school. So this was really neat for me to see. I hope you guys enjoy seeing this cool video about this beautiful butterfly.